and Michael Paul. If you have comments, you can call us now at 261-0898 or pound 981 on any ceasefire device. Our email is newsradiomornings@gmail.com.
Hey, we begin the program 7:16, 16 minutes after is the mom and dad and kids gather around the radio and listening intently. Is it the Lone Ranger and Tonto? I think it's Michael and Gene Valentino.
And a good boy, Gene, good morning. The studio crowd is excited.
And good morning. Or Batman and Robin.
Yeah, that's right. You got your coffee in your hand. You're ready to go. We're happy to see you on Zoom here this morning. Did you see, by the way, did you see that the Zoom company, the actual company that provides us with this unique technology where we can see each other and talk to each other, they have said now that if you live within 50 miles of the company, that you have to report to work at least 2 days a week. They're not, they say Zoom is good, but it's better if you are in person. And you know something? I agree with that.
Social conditioning, Michael, that's absolutely true. There's nothing like the old workplace where you're face to face. You know, people work off each other, and there's a dynamic when we're face to face. You know, even in manufacturing and assembly, I mean, you do need to be with other people in the bill of lading procedures. But like we're doing, which is a little more than 50 miles apart right now, we do have the privilege of being able to not only chat with each other, but see each other. And these Zoom broadcasts, we put them in the can and they appear on Grassroots Truthcast and GeneValentino.com, where we have a whole segment for WMXI. Weekly, we grab these shows and post them. So if you missed them or heard part of it on your way to work, just go to WMXI and GeneValentino.com and you can replay the 15 minutes at 7:15 a.m. every Friday morning.
Yeah, you know, you post those on your website, usually by the afternoon on Fridays.
That's right. Yeah, the radio station provides a pretty high quality copy of this broadcast. And for those who are driving and don't need to be looking at anything else but the road, you've got a pretty good high quality audio signal coming off of WMXI that's there for the listening while you're driving.
Yep, got you. Okay, so the big news today was what happened last night. The first time ever a former president of the United States had a mugshot, which just makes me nauseous because I came out of the law enforcement community. And this guy, this sheriff in Fulton County, just wanted, I think, to get his name out there. I don't know why. I don't know what, but there was no reason for any of this nonsense. First of all, there is absolutely no evidence whatsoever to support. And if you read, all you have to do is read, folks. Just pick up the indictment that this Fani DA, whatever her name is, I forget her last name, whatever it was, you just read it, and you can. Without any lawyer present, you can actually figure out that this is BS, the whole thing. And so it makes me nauseous how they have treated this guy. But let me tell you something. He takes everything in stride. Can you imagine having this happening to you, Gene, on a regular basis? Like you've got, hundreds, about 90-something charges that could get you 700 years in prison. And what does this guy do? He takes the mugshot and makes a fundraiser email, sends it out to everybody. You can get the mugshot picture on a T-shirt for $47. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
This presidential mugshot, he has an uncanny ability to putting the spin on it and making it almost humorous and lighthearted, and then turning the attention towards the righteous indignation of the whole thing, this Fani Willis you mentioned, and turning it into a fundraiser as well. And I hope he does. He should, because this is the first time in history that an American president has been indicted. Now, it'd be one thing if he was indicted by a federal prosecutorial system. He was indicted by a Fulton County DA prosecutor, which to me, according to some of the legal beagles I've been talking to, is a breach of the constitutional It's a breach of constitutional overreach. A local county official, how many other county officials are there in the nation that think they can overstep and indict a president? And the real concern I have, Michael, is that this does nothing but solidify and prove what we've been talking about on these past episodes, that there has been an overreach on the. I used to bite my tongue and not go so aggressive on the issue of Democrat versus Republican, and there's sinners in both camps, and I get that. But on the Democrat side, they have mobilized to such an extent that they say, oh, regarding Trump, if you can't beat him, take him off the ballot. That's how much they hate him. They hate him so much, Michael.
One of the things, I want you to think about this for a second. So they are indicting Trump and trying to put him in jail for things, number one, that he didn't do. And if you read the indictments, they make absolutely no sense whatsoever. But beyond that, they want him to go to jail. They want to use their power and the color of law to put a former president in jail who's, by the way, running against the current guy in office. But yet this guy that's in office actually has done things that are way worse than any. If you look at Watergate for a second. I mean, this was unbelievable what he has done and what we have seen so far. We don't have all the evidence in yet either. They are going to, I think, start an impeachment inquiry coming up in the congressional when they return in September after their summer break. I think you're going to see that happen. And the interesting thing about it is that, and I say this all the time, and you may have noticed this yourself, but I figured this out a few years ago. Whatever Democrats are accusing Republicans of doing, they're doing it themselves.
Divert, deflect, distract. You brought it up, and I'm glad you brought it up, Michael, because the Democrats are so blatant right now. They don't even care. Here's what to look for. Look around at who's laughing about Trump's arrest. Watch carefully. That's the true enemy that's trying to take down this constitutional republic. Today it's Trump, but tomorrow it's you and me.
That's right.
And everyone else in the neighborhood.
And you know,
how many times have we said failure to defend the rights of other people may result in your rights, my rights not being defended? How many times have we said rise up and do what's necessary? We can whine every Friday morning, and we certainly do bring up some stuff to get irritated about, but we must put an action plan in place to take this guy down. And anyone who is interfering with our constitutional republic. Quick switch, the debates the other night, who came out and was bold on that point? Ron DeSantis. Now, he didn't score all the points I wish he did in the debate, but he sure made it clear. Lock and load. Shoot the enemy that crosses into our border carrying fentanyl because it's an act of war. They're coming at us and they're killing innocent Americans. And it's time to arm up and take them out.
Donald Trump has said in the past, they're not coming after me. They're coming after you. So
Exactly.
You're the one that they're coming after, not me. They're using me as the conduit to get to you. And the other question I have, where is the AG of Georgia? The Attorney General of Georgia is a Republican. Where is he today? What is his opinion on this? And what can he do to thwart this prosecution?
Yeah.
That is absolutely unheard of.
You just made the perfect segue into the key as to what makes our democracy so different. Unlike all the other governances of the world, ours has the ability to remedy its shortcomings. And what's going to happen is because we have a system so ingrained to being attentive to what we the people are thinking, there will be a correction. And it will swing back the other way, that pendulum we talked about. And here's one sitting in the sidelines that hasn't caught the news yet. What's the connection on the political side with DeSantis to Christopher Wray? DeSantis, excuse me, I meant to say Chris Christie to Christopher Wray, the FBI director, and Chris Christie to Jarod Kushner's father, and how that impacted Chris Christie's disposition against Trump. I'll come back to that after some more research in the near future. And something else that just popped up before airtime this morning, there's only one person sitting in a Georgia jail right now. His name is Harrison Floyd, who is the director of Black Voices for Trump during the 2020 campaign. Keep your eye on Harrison Floyd. He did not post bond, and the Dems aren't talking about how they've incarcerated an African American against Trump. And this will become a bigger story in the near future.
Well, we'll certainly not let this one go. We'll talk about it as we find out more information. That's interesting. What was he supposedly to have done?
He was one of the protesters that spoke out against the merits of the election, which everyone peacefully protested about. He was the one that said there was no insurrection. And that raised the ire of, and it had more to do as well with the voting process in Georgia and the counting of those votes. And that Fani Willis, the DA, is the one who's got him behind bars right now.
Very interesting, because, you know, they are using the color and authority of the law of this country to go after political opponents. And we've mentioned this, and many people are talking about this. But folks, this is what they do in banana republics. This is what just happened in Russia with the guy who was opposing Putin, who made the march. You know, the Wagner group.
Yeah,
it looks
that was
like
Yevgeny Prodgosky.
Yeah, something like that. But he is no longer. And the reason why he's no longer is because Putin ordered his plane shot down. And it's odd that they even got some video of it. I mean, it's like, you know, I mean, how does that happen, right? Your plane gets shot down, and for some reason, there's like somebody by there with a video camera that happens to catch it.
And do you think, Michael, do you think that this might be at our doorstep? Oh, they're coming after Trump today. It's you and me tomorrow. And then the autocratic dictatorial governance rises up and starts shooting people and planes out of the air, like what's going on in communist Russia. It's here tomorrow if we don't address the problem today. I pray that America has the strength and the fortitude to get beyond the party politics and to right this ship and return us to a constitutional republic before it's too late.
It's so true. And you have to remember, we got less than a minute left, but you have to remember that Barack Obama was and is a Marxist. That's the way he thinks. Okay, so we think that Obama and his ilk, they're all in charge right now because Joe Biden cannot make decisions. In fact, he just likes flying around on that airplane and going to places like Lake Tahoe and enjoying himself on the beach and on the lake. But there are forces out there that are Marxist, socialist type forces that are pushing this country that direction. If they get one more term is all they need. And they're going to be in charge of this country, and we're never going to be able to get out of this. We got to stop this now. That's all we got for time. But thank you, Gene, as you normally do on Friday, for joining us.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen.